Hi, this is Missy and Lance with Autism Playbook, and today we are going to talk about biomedical intervention. You have probably heard about it. It is one form of autism treatment, and it's commonly referred to as Biomed. So when we talk about Biomed, it's one method of treatment for autism, and it focuses on, so autism is a label that we put on a set of behaviors. And the idea is that these behaviors can be caused for all sorts of reasons, and that some of those reasons are underlying medical causes. So a biomedical doctor would do tests and try to find out what the underlying medical causes are and then treat those. And the hope would be that behaviors would improve. So we actually have some experience with Biomed because we have done it with our son, in addition to other treatments, for the last almost 2 years. So we've seen some cool things, and Lance came across a really cool table that talks about some different treatment and what the successes are. So he's going to go through that.
And it was Finn's birthday this week.
Oh, and that's why the birthday banner is up. I thought about doing a birthday episode because he just loves his birthday. Too much sugar.
But no gluten or dairy.
No gluten or dairy.
Okay, so this is from the Autism Research Institute. And if you haven't heard of it, go check it out. It's got some interesting things. But this is a table that they put out. This is from March of 2009, so it's a little dated, but this table has quite a few of the common biomedical interventions that you see with autism. As Missy explained, some of the behaviors that we see in autism are caused by underlying medical conditions, and these are various drugs, supplements, and that sort of thing that are, being used to try to treat those underlying conditions and improve behavior and overall health of your child with autism. So just to kind of walk through, and again, huge caveat, we're not doctors. We don't play doctors on the internet, but we are parents that have done Biomed with our son. And, we've tried to read a lot on the subject and continue to do so. And so we're willing to share our opinion. But again, this is something that you would take to your child's physician and discuss with a doctor. In addition to that, what we're trying to do is, you'll read a lot out there, and there's some people who are way into Biomed, and some people have never really tried it, and then others who aren't as big of fans. And we respect all beliefs, all values in this. But our particular stance on this is that there are some really good things out there that can help your child. Again,
have helped our child.
Yeah, they've helped us. We love the therapies and things our son has done, and they've been a tremendous help to him. And we've also seen a tremendous help from some of these things. And so what we want to do with this table is not necessarily show you solutions, because again, that's you and your doctor, but just show you that this was a survey of 27,000 parents. So this is not a medical case study by any means, but literally a survey of 27,000 parents that basically went out and said, have you tried these various things with your child, and did they work? And so, for instance, here there's a got worse. So that would mean they had tried this drug, and 19% of parents said their child got worse on it. 60% said they had no effect, and 21% said they had got better. And so that's with all these interventions. And so then this ratio basically shows you those who got better to those who got worse, with the neutral ones pulled out, and the overall amount that tried. And so if you can kind of flip through here, and you can see, maybe here's Adderall. You may have heard of that.
That one doesn't look so good on that survey.
The ratio didn't go so well. But then you get down here to antifungals, and this is something we're a big fan of. So if you hear about candida, overgrowth, or yeast, here parents are reporting 13-1, a huge improvement in behavior. If you keep flipping through other things, so they have various seizure medications. There are some doctors who try to treat autism through seizure medication. You can see kind of the results there. IVIG is something that you hear come up if your child has, need for that. And that's, your doctor's typically going to determine that through some sort of lab or something. That's a 7.6 to 1. So it feels like, the children who were determined who needed that, there was a pretty high success rate. Again, this is not a medical study. It's just parents' opinion of how their child's behavior changed. And so you can kind of troll along and you can see, in this kind of drug category, there's some decent ones, but there's a lot that ratio is pretty close to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start scrolling down. This is where I think it gets interesting. So these are various supplements, and here, let's look at digestive enzymes. It's at 19 to 1. We can certainly echo that with our son. Digestive enzymes.
They were instrumental in potty training.
Yeah, specifically, it's the Kirkman DPPIV or 4 or whatever. That for us, that was a game changer, and you can tell for a lot of other parents. So that's 2,300 survey respondents. So that's a huge ratio. And then you can get into folic acid is one you might see a lot. Melatonin,
hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Some people are really into that.
HBOT, some people are really into that. So this was a pretty fair amount of people said they had a good response.
Yeah.
A lot of parents with children with autism talk about lack of sleep. So melatonin has a pretty good response, and that's one we can echo that has worked well.
I hear a lot of good things about magnesium as well.
Magnesium, yeah, that's something we've been reading about also. And then over here you get into some of the vitamins. So so vitamin A, huge response, B3, 6. So zinc. I mean,
who knew?
And these are these are fairly inexpensive over the counter.
Like we order them on Amazon.
And our stance, again, is even if something's over the counter, you don't necessarily try it with your child.
I would get a doctor's.
Yeah. Because a doctor can do a blood test and can determine if their zinc levels are low. But
all the things we've tried with Finn have been under a doctor's recommendation.
We tried it. And then here's where it gets really interesting. Ooh. So diets, and diet's Biomed, maybe not, but just look at the ratios here. So just removing dairy, 32 to 1, just removing chocolate, 28, wheat, 30 to 1, sugar, 27 to 1. So we're big fans of the gluten-free, dairy-free diet here, 24 to 1. Now these diet things are interesting because we do really well with that with our son. There was a time when we would have thought these were impossible.
Oh my heavens. I remember when we first read about them, that they could be beneficial. I was just like, there's just no way.
But now that we've been on the other side of that for long enough, it doesn't even feel that hard anymore.
And I would say it wasn't hard relatively quickly.
Yeah.
We'll go more into diets in a different episode, but it's interesting to see. Oh, removing sugar, 27 to 1.
Huge. Yeah.
We noticed that a lot with Finn.
Yeah. And that kind of supposedly can help with the yeast as well. So again, this isn't necessarily something to use by yourself, but you can take it to your doctor and, get ideas, and always work with your physician on these things. But just to show you that, maybe you've read somewhere that Biomed isn't really helpful, but if you start looking at stuff like this from that many parents, you can see that there are some, potential huge benefits out here for your child. And it can help you generate some ideas and get involved. In addition to your child's pediatrician, this Autism Research Institute, I believe, has some places that can help you find doctors that specifically practice in autism.
That's really neat.
Which we would also recommend.
Yes, we have a specific autism doctor that we see. We see once in person per year, and then do a lot of
follow-up.
Phone calls and stuff.
Okay, well, we hope you've enjoyed this video on Biomed, and please reach out to us if you have any questions on anything we talked about. And
we'd love to hear about your Biomed experiences.
Take care.